I'm Julia Borson here at the Cannes Lion Festival to talk about the future of advertising with Spotify's Chief Content and Advertising Officer, Dawn Ostroff. Dawn, thanks so much for talking to us today.
It's great to be here, and the rain stopped, so it's a nice day now.
It's a beautiful day in Cannes, and the big topic of conversation is what is your outlook on the advertising market? There are all of these macroeconomic headwinds, concerns about inflation, about pressures on consumer spending, but what are you seeing in terms of the ad market right now?
Obviously, we're very cognizant of what's happening in the world and all the talk about there being a lot of headwinds. But as of now, we have not seen or felt any of those headwinds specifically through the advertising business. Now, that's not to say things won't change, but it's to say as of now, it's still been pretty consistent and been fairly positive.
So why do you think ad spending is remaining robust? Do you think it's because the brands that you're working with are shifting money from other places? What do you think is driving that?
I think it's a combination of things. Our particular business is still focused on enterprise clients. So enterprise clients are still out there spending. And I think the shift from traditional dollars to digital is pretty significant this year. What we are hearing from advertisers across the board is that a lot of money is going to now migrate into digital. In some cases, we're hearing 70% of the advertising spend from very big clients is going to go into digital. About 20% will go into traditional media, and then about 10% to outdoor and other types of advertising.
And so what do you think is driving that shift? Do you think it's about the need for accountability? If budgets are going to come down, you want to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck?
No, I think it's that they're going where the consumer is. And Julie, you know me for a while. I have always been a big believer that you follow youth culture. You follow where the youngest generation is going, because that's always a sign of where the rest of the consumers will go. And so for years we've seen young people migrating to digital video, and now audio has been exploding across the world. And it's now catching up. For a long time, digital audio didn't have the advertising spend that other platforms have had and that other businesses have had. And now the advertisers recognize that the medium itself is undeniable, but also, technologically speaking, the advertising side of our business has gotten much more sophisticated, and Spotify has really been leading that charge. We finally have streaming ad insertion, allowing advertisers to know who is actually listening to their advertisement and where and what they're listening to. And the transparency is a critical component to advertising in any way today.
Yeah, transparency and accountability are two things we've heard a lot about here in Cannes this year. And one thing I'm curious about those, you just had your big investor day and you showcased how Spotify is now not just about music, not just about podcasts, but also going to be about audiobooks. How much do you see audiobooks as being a growth driver for advertising or an opportunity for advertising? You traditionally think about, Audible is a subscription service. There are no ads involved.
Yeah, well, we haven't come out and said what the revenue opportunity exactly is going to be, but you could use your imagination, because there's huge upside in audiobooks. It's a $170 billion business as a book publishing business, and of that, only 6 or 7% are currently audiobooks. And with 20% year-over-year growth, you can see that there's a lot of opportunity. And so how we're going to serve the consumer in terms of the monetization, it's going to be probably more than one type of revenue, and we think that there'll be a lot of flexibility to reinvent and innovate the entire industry and disrupt it, to be very candid.
So more than one type of revenue means subscription and advertising and audiobooks, or at least the option of that.
Or a la carte, different ways to approach the to approach the revenue opportunities.
Interesting. And so, there was also a tease of other businesses in the works, an XYZ in the investor presentation of other verticals that Spotify could move into. Do you see those as being advertising as well as subscription opportunities, whatever those may be?
I think everything that we're looking at has advertising opportunities. The best thing that I can say Spotify did very early on, which we're seeing many different companies copying, is we have a dual revenue stream. We have a subscription revenue stream and we have an advertising revenue stream. We also now have a la carte and other types of of revenue that's coming into the company. And so the idea that we have that nimbleness, that flexibility in terms of how a consumer gets Spotify is up to them, and it gives us the opportunity to reach as many people as possible. Right now we have 422 million monthly users, and you know, when you look at us having a goal of getting to 1 billion users in the short distance, you know, I think having that flexibility really is a key component to it.
And so give us a sense, though, about the idea of Spotify being an open platform. So you're not just acquiring content, then you're creating a revenue stream from, but increasingly it sounds like you think about the company as an open platform between creators and consumers.
We believe that everybody is a creator. And so yes, we have professional content that we make and that we license exclusively, but when you look at the array of creators, be it either people who want to make podcasts, I mean, it's hard to go anywhere and not meet somebody who says, oh, I made a podcast. You know, and we really encourage people to explore that side of themselves. And the same thing for music. There's so many musical artists, people who are either professional, semi-professional, or even amateurs who can make music, upload it to Spotify. And our goal is to have 50 million creators on the platform and connect them to 1 billion users. Currently, we have more than 11 million creators on the platform. And when I came to Spotify in 2018, there was probably about 3 million creators. So we're growing rapidly on the creator side as well as on the consumer side.
Yeah, so interesting. So just a final question. When you think about the competitive landscape, here we are in Cannes and we see the traditional media companies, there's Meta, there's Twitter, there's TikTok. Who are you competing with for ad dollars?
Well, I would say you compete with everybody, needless to say. The advertisers have a fixed budget. How much of it goes into digital, how much of it goes into audio is the big question. But I am very happy sitting on my side of the fence knowing that audio budgets are growing exponentially, that advertisers are seeing huge opportunity. The intimacy and the science and the data that shows how impactful ads are as an audio ad is just undeniable, and all of a sudden, you know, advertisers are starting to recognize young people are, everybody's always with their headphones, you know, in their ears. It's become a new way of life. And the advantage that we have at Spotify is, although we do have video on the platform, the truth is you can either listen or you can watch and listen, but you can do whatever fits your lifestyle or your mood at that moment. And that's the most important thing for the consumer.
Giving that flexibility of the freemium model. Thank you so much for talking to us about the future of Spotify's ad business, and we'll see what those XYZ categories are that you may be expanding into.
Stay tuned.
Yes, Dawn Ostroff joining me here at Cannes. I'm Julia Borston.